Welcome to part 1 of my 100 days of grounded, the first 50 days, getting ready for the bug strike back update. This update would mean that bugs would come and attack your bases. So we needed something strong, and I set myself a challenge of 50 days to get all the mushroom build pieces from scratch and hopefully build myself a giant fort. So if you're new or an old head at grounded, hopefully this video will help you or you'll find it interesting. Let me know by leaving a like and make sure you check out the rest of my content. My name is Jade, let's go. So Max is my main guy, and we quickly went to work gathering resources and trying to kill some of the local bugs. Sorry, not sorry, Mr. Ant. We're going to be scanning a bunch of our resources at these science outposts, and we need to turn on power to get access to even more helpful units. And that's the loop of grounded. The analyzer has a cooldown, so you can only scan about 3 things at one time and then come back to it in a while, but we quickly got the basics of recipes for bandages and some armour and weapons. Then it was over to turn on the mysterious machine and find out what was actually causing the problems to stop it working. OG players know the score, it's about time to go and take out the mites that are chomping through the cables. Best not advised to come down here unless you've got a torch if you're a brand new player to grounded, but I consider myself almost a seasoned pro at this stage. I'm really not. Bandaged up and I killed the rest of the mites before breaking through the quartzite wall. We're going to need tons of this stuff to craft and make our weapons a bit stronger. We also got a first scab. This is going to basically change the colour for the UI, so we're going to change it every time we find a new one, and it was quickly time to get out of the cave. There we go. Boom. Press the button straight away. So this is maybe the machine that shrunk us, but how are we ever going to get bigger? I guess that will be 1.0. For now though, we're going to follow the breadcrumbs or the explosions over to the oak tree. Before we get ahead too far though, we're going to need to set up a campsite and get some food on the go with our roasting spit. Delicious weevil roast. Oh, it gives you all that stuff. Of course it does. Oh, that's great. We can make a torch now. Perfect. Workbench. Of course. That's like a priority. Before night time drew in, it was time to kill a few more bugs and get ourselves some more replenishment like water, and then hopefully craft our workbench and somewhere to sleep. We also made our first armour, the Clover set, which is going to help us not need as much food and water when you're wearing a complete one, and we got ourselves a spear. Don't I look fantastic? On day 2 we started getting even more resources, namely thorns to make loads of arrows for eventually when we do get hold of a bow, and we did start looking towards the oak tree and started gathering some more resources. I crafted a quick hammer and we started bashing away at all the acorns to get the shells, which would lead us to our next armour set, the Acorn Set. There we go, switch over quickly. Ah! Ah! Run! Not the nicest of surprises. That's what happens when you're digging up for grub. Sometimes you accidentally dig up a larvae, and these guys can be pretty deadly. But I managed to take it out with the spiky sprig I'd crafted using the thorns, and we quickly went into the oak lab. The oak lab has changed. There used to be a puzzle, but after the bug strike back update, it's no longer there. And nor is this guy. Only OG players are going to remember having to face off against a Rust Tea, or Taste Tea as they were called, as these guys can be pretty challenging even in early game. But we soon took him out and we discovered a mysterious robot, aka Burgle, a slightly annoying quest giver. We scanned some of the resources that we just got, like the acorn pieces, giving us access to a whole bunch more crafting options so that we start making smoothies, spinning silk, as well as catching sap. And we had access now to the acorn armor sets too. Once you've spoken to Burgle, that's when the science points will start spawning across the map, and this is how we're going to upgrade and get a whole bunch of new items. And we also picked up our first chip, which gives us access to basic base building. The more dungeons we explore, the more of these chips we're going to find, giving us even more unlocks. We also discovered some more quests, and these are going to give us some extra science points for completion, as well as even more floating science and one of the first molars, but we're going to need a big upgraded hammer before we can actually break into this, and that's how we're going to increase our character stats eventually. We got a bunch of quartzite, and then it was time to pretty much head home. Feeling slightly brave though, I decided to go up to the lantern and see if we could get that science points on the edge of it. What is that? What is that? Where is it? Where is it? Oh no, there's a spider on. Oh no, no, we're not doing that, mate. We're not doing that. Yeah, you keep your science. You keep your science. Before day 2 finished, we looked at some of the shields that we're going to need, as you definitely need a lot of protection when playing the game on the medium setting, as well as some of them crafting benches. One of which, the smoothie maker, we're definitely going to need a lot more grub goop, and that's going to help us replenish our health, especially when we're coming up against some of the more dangerous bugs. So we also took care of this weevil, and we got lucky at last with a weevil nose, which is going to be needed for some of the more toxic environments. So the rest of day 3 was spent pretty much gathering more resources and a very special weapon, the larvae sword. When you find weapons and stuff like this in grounded, it's kind of rotten, and so it doesn't have as much stamina or durability or do as much damage as the full version, but it's a decent little start. That combined with eventually some health potions, mixing up bug parts, meant I was brave enough again to go towards the spider lantern.
Ah! Run! Run! Run!
Oh, we did it. We did it, Ma. We did it. We had enough science points now to craft the smithing station, and this is what's going to help us upgrade our weapons. And we're getting close to being able to craft a full set of grub armor too. But we did need just a few more pieces, and once again being scared out of our wits by one of these guys.
Run! Run! Oh my god! Oh my god! That was awful.
I didn't stick around to finish the job with that guy. Instead, we went back to the cave where we stopped the mites from chewing on the cables, because we needed a lot more of the grub parts, as well as maybe some more science points and definitely some quartzite. So this was a great place to come. But once again, my larvae senses were missing.
No! Why would you do that to me? Why? There's no way I can handle 2. Oh my god, I've always thought they were going to be grubs in there. No, 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 no.
Once I'd calmed my panic, we crafted the smithy station and started upgrading some of the more basic weapons and repairing the larvae blade that I got. This little bad boy does poison damage as well, so it's a really good one to go and get. A good end to day 3. Day 4 was about more gathering.
Ah! No, no! Oh my god, it flew at me.
I vow this will be the last time I'm scared absolutely out of my mind by some larvae. We took care of it with our brand new bow, and I managed to cheese another one, so he's getting plenty of the pincers that they drop, as well as some other crucial bits we'd need for later. Lots of the missions from Burgle require you to go and plant a flag at different locations, and these can be a decent way to get some science points. It's time to start thinking about maybe getting a base sorted for now, a temporary one, so I bought the multi-story upgrades and started gathering some more clay while we finished off a few more quests, and that pretty much rounded up day 4.
Yay!
Just one last thing, crafting our weevil shield. This is going to help out so much. I need to get hold of some ant parts so we could start going into the anthill, and so we need to take on some more of the ant soldiers. Now these guys can be pretty tough, so I was trying to do my best to keep range and distance from them. The stink bugs kill all creatures within its cloud, so I thought maybe I could bring some over.
Yo-ho! Anties! Oh, run. Oh, run. Yep. I'll soon die. Oh no, I'm gonna die!
No! 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 So that was my first death and I lost everything. I'd set myself a challenge of losing the backpack, but when they first introduced this, I assumed I would be able to keep my armour and equipment, as that's what it said on the menu. But nope, you lose absolutely everything. So I took the loss on the chin. I went back and got some more resources for the rest of the day, including more arrows since I'd wasted and lost a lot of them. And just before the end of day 5, we went and grabbed a few more quests just in case we could earn some more science. We did get the chip sleuth for the jungle temple, and that's going to be one of the first big dungeons that we take on.
We're just like mooching right. There's just too many. Oh my god. What were they killing? Oh, there's been a war or something going on here.
For once, it wasn't me committing ant genocide. I'd already made my armour, and this meant me pretty much immune. The ants wouldn't attack me while I was wearing all ant armour. So we dived into the anthill to pick up some more resources and get an important chip. I also grabbed a few eggs too.
Oh yes, no, they did know this. Oh, I'll send them off into a frenzy. Run. Oh no, come on, I'm your brother. I'm your friends.
Apparently they didn't see it that way as I was stealing their young, but they quickly forgot, and I managed to get the anthill burgle chip, which would give me access to more, and the lost pieces of the bee armour. These would all eventually be able to be crafted, but for now they gave me kind of weak sauce version that would still give me some decent stamina and some extra damage with bows. They're scattered all around the ant yard, and I knew exactly where they were, as this dungeon's been in the game since the very beginning, as one of the very first guide videos I did.
Oh, just throwing eggs at me. I mean, if you're chucking your children around like that, I think I should take them, to be honest. Oh. Oh. No! Oh my god! Run! Run! Run!
We made it out in time and we did a decent amount there. Got lots of science points, the B armor and of course the burgle chip. There's only one problem with eggs, they don't last long before they actually hatch, so I wasn't going to be able to make the bombs that I would need for later on. So instead I used them to make some smoothies. But at least we had the recipe now, and all I would need to do is make sure that I had some of the fungal growth that you can get from the haze creatures and then go and get the eggs again. We finished off day 6 by heading back to Burgle just as night time descended, and what a gorgeous sight it is. The graphics in this game I feel are amazing and have got even better since the last update. Anywho, we managed to unlock fibre efficiency and fortified bases. This would give us much needed protection going forward. Day 7 we ventured over to the hedge. We needed to get some berries so we can make some berry leather, and I took out one of my old foes pretty easily this time. Then it was time to tuck into the berries and get as many chunks as possible to dry out or convert into berry leather. Eventually this stuff will be needed to improve your armour, but for now it was needed just to craft and make some of the more advanced armour pieces I wanted. It took quite a while and we did spend pretty much most of the day gathering all of the berry leather. The hedge can be dangerous, lots of all weavers, but also falling berries.
Oh, dear, right on my head. Can you imagine if that killed you though?
Good thing it didn't, I still had plenty of gathering to do. We headed over to the Homage to the Forest game, which is directly inspired so many mechanics of Grounded. The devs absolutely love it. Creepy place, I know. You can actually set up a little camp here if you wanted to. We got the totem and we got, more importantly, the ant club. This is a great spot to pick up loads of ant pieces. If you don't want to be killing them too much, you can run over here and grab what you need. There's also fallen laboratories that give some science points and some egg sacs that you can kill some of the baby spiderlings. These are the easy versions. There's going to be much harder spiders in the future. Mission complete. This first run for berry leather was pretty successful. Now one of the main uses for the berry leather was to get a bug insect hammer. This would be able to craft and then be able to take on some of the milk molders. So we had to go and kill some stink bugs as we needed some of their parts too. And again, I was pretty cheesy here. In the latest update, this has now been nerfed. Creatures are much more smarter and they'll jump as well.
I've been really putting this off. There we go, Pro Strat Tips. Whacking that in a video. Hi guys, welcome. I'm going to show you guys how to pro strat stink bugs, yeah? Just watch this amazing technique I'm about to show you. I only got 3 parts there though.
So we definitely needed some more, so I went ahead and cheesed again.
Oh! Oh! Oh no! Oh no! Oh.
What was I saying about bugs not being able to jump? Most of them couldn't when I was playing this update version. We were going to need more bug parts though, especially from bombardier beetles. And I scoped out a future location for a mushroom factory.
Oh, he's like proper hiding. He's like, leave me alone! Just call me Burger Man. Because I bring my own cheese. You get me? That's right. There we go. I thought that on the top of my head. I'm the Burger Man. Because I bring my own cheese, baby.
Totally available to write best man jokes at your next wedding. Mission accomplished and the bombardier beetle was brown bread. Now it's time to go and grab the pieces before any of the wall weavers around the post come and nab me. As said a bunch of times now, you've always got to be scanning some of these so you get brand new items, and we eventually had enough to craft our first insect hammer. That brought us pretty much to the end of day 8 and now it was time to go back to the hedge. With my spawn point placed, it was time to start going across the lines and see if we could get to the secret laboratories. It's not easy though, we've got the creepiest and fastest moving little bugs in the game. The spiderlings jump around a lot, but there were plenty of locations to go and get science points and extra scabs.
Oh. Oh baby. Come to Papa.
Back in the day, the hedge used to have a bunch of bigger spiders to contend with, including a boss broodmother, but now it's got its own dungeon. We'll be back here one day, probably to finish out part 2, day 50 to 100. But for now it was taking care of the smaller ones and grabbing more stuff from the egg sacs, which gave us some more bug parts. You've always got to bring a dandelion tuft with you, as that'll help you glide to the floor just in case you do miss a step somewhere. And eventually we got to the last one that brought us into the big labyrinth of Hedge Labs. We was going to need a bunch of password parts scattered across these laboratories to open up the doorway so we could get the brand new Hedge chip, as well as unlock some extra scanning features so we could find more bug parts. There was one problem though, Allweaver Jr. Ooh. Oof.
That's a masterclass, mate. We're smashing it. We're smashing it. I didn't get that lab note either.
I made him look easy there, but actually they're pretty challenging. They've only just been nerfed from being a tier 2 spider to a tier 1. They definitely hit a lot harder than you think. Scanning the pieces though eventually gave me the spider armour, and that would be something we'll be aiming for in the future. There were still a few tasties to be taken care of, and I lucked out that so many of them got stuck in their ways.
You're stuck. Well, I've got to soften you up a little bit. Oh, yeah. You thought you'd creep up me, didn't you?
As long as you don't get hit by that twirling attack, you should be able to handle these no problem. And each one gives you that precious science points. Once we cleared them out, we got a chance to take a look at the mad shenanigans of Wendell, the scientist that we're following, because he's the guy that maybe shrunk us, and he's been leaving his clues in these laboratories about what's been happening and how his technology's been going. We got our first full gold tooth.
Bosh, first Mega Milk, nice.
And it wasn't long before we got some more of the password pieces needed. One of the best rooms in the laboratories is right near the top. There's this room filled with resources. This is going to be perfect for the mixer, one of the base defense points that you can partake in the future now. But back in this update, it wasn't there, so I just quickly chucked all this stuff on the floor, intending to come back and pick it up.
Ah!
This is awesome!
Oh, I nearly done it again. Definitely second time lucky there. I didn't go splat, and we got our next piece. I tried using my brand new ant club that I'd made, and it's probably not the best weapon to be taking out some of these spiderlings with. It's just a wee bit too slow. Next piece got, and yes, we took another look at the crazy shenanigans of Wendell. Then it was time to take on the final part of the challenge, to grab the last piece and make sure we took on the Allweaver Jr. But apparently he kind of falls out of here, or he's just not spawning here anymore. And that was it, we got the last piece. It was time to go back to the terminal.
Yes! Oh baby. Oh baby. Yep, take that. And we've got a gas mask as well. Didn't even need to make the other one. Boom!
Our first laboratory complete in around 8 or 9 days. That's not too bad. And of course we unlock the ability to scan for bug parts. The survey scanner will help you find bugs all over the yard or any other resources that you need. A relatively new addition that long-time grounded players have absolutely loved. I went and got the last milk molar from the now defunct laboratory that's at the top of the hedge. It's been moved or replaced. And we went right to the observation tower to pick up some more science points, another scab, and a special recipe for a pretty tough boss fight that we'll probably do in part 2. We glided across to the bird table and started to pick up some of the stuff that's there, including another golden milk molar. These ones will give you the ability to increase how much you can carry, your arrows, your consumables, and there are some of the white ones that give you the chance to increase your health, stamina, and a little bit more. More raw science, yes, and we've got another scab. Woohoo! There's only one thing left to do, jump to our death. Nah, of course not. I'm using my hang time, and that was pretty decent. Let's run back home and get a good night's sleep. So day 10, we went and got some more resources with our new tier 2 hammer. These mint pieces we're going to be able to put special effects on our weapons later, and we got some more mega milk as we went and bought some new upgrades. Pebblet foundations, zip lines were the main one, and then we spoke to Burgle. This is where we can convert our milk molars into some stat boosts. Picked up another milk molar in the abandoned anthill and another one under the juice cart just outside the oak tree. And finally we started to think about relocating over to where I thought I would have my mushroom factory. But I come across plenty of bugs and I was trying to get better at combat, which I kind of always sucked at. Lots of the weapons have elemental effects that you can apply to them eventually, and lots of the bugs have weaknesses and resistances against them. And before the end of day 10, we sorted out all of our structures to hold all our resources, and that was pretty much what we did most of day 11. We got our grind on and got a serious amount of grass planks and started building up our mushroom farms. These are how we was going to grow our mushrooms once we got some, and we took out a few more bits of bug wildlife around us. We crafted our first proper silk from some of the spider webs, and I stupidly thought I was ready to take on a ladybug. Turns out I wasn't. So remember, everything disappears. I have to craft brand new armour, brand new everything. It really sucks losing all the backpack. It wasn't really the challenge I was looking for. But anyway, we went back and got more resources. For some stupid reason, I decided to go back to the laboratory to see if I could clear out some more egg sacs, and this was a bad idea. The orb weavers had respawned correctly and they did me a whole bunch of damage. But of course they've been nerfed now, so yeah, I feel pretty proud of myself that I took on the challenge at least, even if it did mean that eventually I would get owned. Come on, I got, yeah, no, please game. Once again, we've lost all our gear and items. I carried on persisting though. Day 12 we spent getting more resources, some more arrows, more bows, and we kind of got secretly drawn into a battle with some of the infected. These are the creatures that inhabit the Haze zone and they're tough as nails, firing all sorts of explosive damage at you. We totally weren't ready for this. I had my gas mask on at least, but it doesn't last long, so you've got to be in and out of it as quickly as possible. I was still desperately looking for more bombardier bug parts and maybe some ladybugs as well. I'll switch to the other side of the haze, knowing that I'll be able to hopefully also get some of the fungal growth so we can finally make some splatburst bombs. These infected mites are still pretty challenging though, even though they do look small.
Oh, sugar.
And yeah, I got nabbed by an orb weaver in its web. Will I get out in time before it eats my face?
Come on in. Whoa!
So this is before they improved the AI and made the creatures jump more.
Get out of here. Yeah, sucker.
I was starting to grow in confidence though, taking on some of these creatures, although you're never too far from a beating, being maybe a little bit too cocky, and taking on this bombardier beetle definitely reminded me of that. I was really lacking on consumables to heal me, and that's exactly what the mixer table does when you combine all your bug parts. So I still needed to get some more of the bombardier beetle parts though, and I was doing my best to go and take them on. Now, gas masks help against stink bugs, they don't really help against bombardier beetles. This is why I don't ever play on WoW mode, I'm simply not that good yet. So I was down to my last sets of armour now. I needed to craft some new stuff because I'd lost so much of it, but I definitely went and got some more consumables this time to hopefully help me not die. We killed some more stink bugs, and now it was time to take on a ladybug. I desperately needed one to craft the tier 2 axe.
But no head! Of course no head! Of course!
Yep, my luck is that bad. I was desperate to find some more ladybugs, so we used the scanner to go and see if we could get some. It showed me some near the hedge, so I decided to be brave again and face off against more orb weavers.
No, not two of them. Come on. Yes! Yes!
We had a nap at the hedge, and then I decided to go and get some more from the egg sacs, and we got super lucky. We finally managed to get some.
Get out of here, son of a git. Yes! We did it! We did it.
This would make quick work of some of the tougher weed stems that you can't actually harvest unless you've got a tier 2 axe. I started planning more of this temporary base location, giving some ramps to get up and making sure that we had some of our other stuff moved over from our previous place. We kept on harvesting and getting our resources ready too, and things were starting to finally come together by the end of day 14. With our new tier 2 axe we could also obviously go and get mushrooms, and this finally meant we could actually start growing some. We was going to need thousands of mushroom slurry to go ahead and build our mushroom castle, and we still needed more resources, so that's what I spent the most of the day doing on day 15. Mushrooms do take a while to grow and you can use fertiliser, but for now we'd have to do it unboosted. Day 16 we started building our temporary little location, gathering more rocks and making sure we had enough of the clay so we could put some proper foundations down. Then we simply had to fill in all the blueprints with all of our weed stems and grass planks, which brought to an end day 16. Day 17 I started to take on some more of the bugs as well, just to keep them at bay, and this time I wasn't going to get suckered out by the toxic gas even if I didn't actually have a mask.
Oh! Oh, that was close. That was close.
That took another big chunk of time, as well as getting more resources for mushroom gardens, and day 18 we started focusing on our fence defences. Yeah, I said it, fence defences. I realised on day 19 we needed a bunch more quartzite to upgrade our weapons and tools, and I went and got some ladders from Burgle. Day 20 we carried on getting more resources, specifically for arrows we needed thorns, and we started chopping down more of our mushrooms that were starting to grow. And I've seen him brave. We took out not just one ladybug but two, either side of grabbing some more berry chunks from the hedge. Things were going pretty well, and I hadn't died in all but 4 or 5 days now. In fact, we'd built up so many resources I was able to start crafting some of the ladybug armour, some of the best armour in the game, until much later. But we would need a few more pieces and we'd need some of the flower petals. So I went to the pond edge. This is where you've got lots of orb weavers but loads of these red beauties. With my max upgrade tier 5 for the moment hammer, we were making short work of these guys, especially with my weevil shield to help protect me. I sneakily snuck to the far side and grabbed another milk motor from these orb weavers. By the end of day 21 we had all the pieces needed for our ladybug full set. Hey! The ladybug armour allows you to block much longer and it gives you a huge amount of defence. Day 22 I'd finished off our defences and we're now pretty set. No bugs would really be messing with us too much while we was here temporarily getting all of the rest of our gear. It may have been nothing more than a kind of rectangle box, but I was pretty proud of our little developing base. After messing around moving some of my stuff inside and then making sure that we kept harvesting our mushrooms.
Oh, what a shot!
The one time I don't have potato aim. We were going to need lots of bombs to take on the picnic table and maybe the black ant hill. On the way back we had a chance to take on some fireflies. This is the first time I'd got close to them and I definitely wanted to get hold of one, as you could make a pretty decent headlamp with some of these parts. Hawkeye skills engaged.
No! Oh yeah, because it's pretty deadly, that stuff.
The acid they spit can damage you pretty well, but it's actually more about how it slows you down in stamina, so you really got to be avoiding these or use much powerful ammo when you're firing using your bow. Otherwise, using armour that's going to give you a lot more stamina boost is definitely the way forward. But I managed to take out one and then there was just the last one left to get hold of. These guys are kind of cute in their own little way. Day 23 we scanned the pieces that I just got, but I was going to need a bit more if I wanted to craft the helmet, and I decided to go back to the anthill and pick up some of the stuff that we'd kind of missed the first time, including some ant eggs again. Now I had the fungal growth first, we would be able to craft our brat burst, basically grenades to blow up certain rocks. It's important to stockpile as much of the sweets as possible, like the mints and the candies, as we're going to need them to upgrade our weapons in the future. But I finally got it, the brat burst was now done, and on the way home we took out some more orb weavers and got some more parts to go towards our spider armour. I was starting to finally get to grips with perfect blocking too.
There we go.
So we was going to head to the picnic table, but I needed to get a knife, as the key to one of the chests on the picnic table you needed to go underwater. So that meant a journey to the pond to see if we could craft the most basic one. We grabbed some lily pad wax, as that's one of the main ingredients, but then I realised that actually it was a tier 2 knife we was going to need, and that needed more underwater ingredients. So I finished off killing this water flea for the first time, got myself some apple pieces as we went back towards the location of the fireflies, and this I had hoped would work underwater if we managed to craft the headlamp.
There we go.
However, I forgot that mosquitoes are pretty close in this zone, and I really wasn't ready to deal with these guys yet, as they'd always kind of got the upper hand with me in past. So I just ran for it and hopefully avoided them hiding out in this can. So day 24 we scanned the underwater items I'd already got, and that meant we could at least get the first knife, the pebblet dagger, and we returned to the water to test it out and see how far I could get. We had my headlamp, so that was working, but we definitely needed some sort of breathing tube, so I'd have to go a little bit deeper and see if we could get some of the seagrass or eelgrass. Making sure to keep a beady eye out for the koi, as it's pretty deadly, it can kill you almost in one hit. But last we found some eelgrass and I managed to get some. We found some water boatmen to take care of as well, as these were definitely going to be needed for our breathing apparatus. Once it was all scanned, we had a whole bunch of new items, including the bone trident and the bone dagger, and we got ourselves a new consumable that would help us underwater as well.
Oh, no.
Nearly ambushed by a wolf spider, one of the most deadly creatures in Grounded. So I stood there and cheesed it pretty hard, and I really didn't want to get ruined, as I had too much good gear on me. But even after killing it, it wasn't over.
Yay! Oh no, there's another one though. Oh, and it got me. It got me. Oh! No! Go away. I was not ready for this. I was not ready.
You may notice my face for most of the rest of this video, as I'd kind of left my camera on while recording my streams.
God, what a dramatic start to a stream.
Oi! Oi! Oh, that was stress. So day 25, it's time to get wet once more, this time going deeper and deeper. We went pretty far down and eventually I got to the bones and the scales. Now this is the entrance to the underwater ponds labs, which we will be doing in the future, but right now I just wanted to get the tier 2 knife. I had my breathing read on me and we were doing pretty well. You've got to dig a lot of the bones and the actual scales out, but it's the bones that are the most important right now. Also nabbed some science points and the bee stinger, the rotten version at least anyway.
Hey, that's good though. That's probably the most smooth experience so far.
Smooth and wet, we did it well. But we wasn't done yet. I still had time to take out one of the diving bell spiders before finally crafting the bone knife and looking at some of the other underwater stuff that we'd probably need for the future. So I was a bit distracted. I decided not to go up to the picnic table after all. Instead, we was going to focus on the Haze Laboratory. It's a pretty tough location and you needed a bomb or at least some exploding weevils that come running around this place to blow up the door for the entrance. You can turn a haze off, which we'll probably do very soon, but for now we had to keep a mask on until we got well into the laboratory. Put a hand on the biometric scanner and we were in. There was plenty of Haze Ts in here that were pretty dangerous, but these were a walk in the park compared to what we was going to face. You can pick up some fungal growth in the laboratory, but it's guarded by exploding growth. Eventually, after a few heals, we made our way through, got the science points and activated the doorway to the second part of the underwater laboratory. Now is when the real fun begins. Exploding enemies everywhere. I retreated away and kept them at distance with my bow and arrow. But these guys are pretty tough, so you kind of want to let them explode, otherwise it takes around 3 shots to maybe get them. You do get some fungal growth from them though, if you manage to defeat them yourself. Eventually making our way through to the final real test. There's an absolute ton of infected creatures in here, not just the small little mites, but we've got larvae as well as a massive ladybug. So I did what I do best, cheese.
Alright, I'm going to cheese them. Come on. Oh, okay, that's one done. Ooh, that door saved me there. Man, so many. Oh, this is going to take forever.
But I didn't care because I absolutely needed to get this done. This was the most important part. If I got the chip from this laboratory, it would unlock the actual oven. And that's what we needed to go ahead and cook the mushroom slurry into proper bricks.
Whoa! 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 Oh, and it had the final explosion there. Oh my god.
We finally did it and we unlocked a mutation, which I haven't mentioned too much about, but obviously as a grounded OG, you know you can get mutations that give you some perks. Things like being able to chop grass quicker or do more damage against certain creatures, and that one I do believe means I'm more resistant to explosive damage.
That's the other thing. Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh damn, that could have been it. Yay, we made it back.
Day 27 and I needed some more bug parts after going through a little bit of assault and definitely some more resources. So we went to work on taking out some more stink bugs and bombardier beetles. I was trying to get these two to fight each other because sometimes they will if they accidentally hit, but then I got nabbed by it. An absolute web in the wrong place at the wrong time. I just about managed to kill the bombardier beetle and I went to town on the stink bug and everything was doing okay. I had my gas mask on as well to give me that bit of protection, but of course it suddenly decided to break at the wrong moment. Grounded is an absolute hard as nails survival game. Don't let anyone ever tell you different.
Coming a pro now. Oh! No! 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 All gone.
I guess when you take damage with the gas mask on, obviously it reduces your durability. That was my fault, so I'm sticking with it. I'm not like, we've had some bugs and glitches that have ruined me, but that was my fault. So a couple times I have reloaded where I felt it was just too unfair that I was losing my armour and gear, but certainly when I made a mistake I kept it there and we had to just rebuild again. So day 28 we went over to the shovel and dropped our bomb and nearly got squished. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my god, imagine if it killed you. I started to clear out the rest of the under picnic table. This area is where you find a lot of bees on it at the moment, and there was plenty of milk molars lying around. All this calcium I'm getting, I better have much stronger bones. Although this is one milk molar I won't be able to get hiding underneath this gum until we get our black ant spade. Not sure why I became a bloodthirsty loon, but I did go and attack a bunch of bees, and you know what, we just about survived. Oh! Get. I really hope they introduce mounts into the game, as it'd be so fun to be able to jump on one of these bees and just fly across the map. I really shouldn't be getting too confident how many times I've died to some of the other bugs. That was good, that was good, that was good. Come on boy, come on. It's the first time I've actually fought bees and done marginally okay. Anywho, we found the exposed pipe, and this is what we needed that tier 2 dagger for, because we're going to need to go in and get a special key. We're going to need to chop away at some of these roots, and we should be able to then get the maze key for the Minotaur maze. Yes, we've got the key. Oh no, I'm getting triple teamed here. No, oh sugar. No, what is going on here? Oh my god, please, please, no, I've got to run, I've got to run. Oh, no. I've got to finish this guy off because he's going to kill me. Come back. Come back. He's gone. He's gone. Oh my god, that was so close. So I was pretty glad to be home. We made sure our mushroom factory was progressing as best as we could. And then the next couple days, I pretty much spent gathering resources and scanning more items at the science outpost. Day 29, we got the blackout armor recipe, as well as the Hilbasa, a grenade that can heal you whenever you throw it for you and your friends. Then day 30 we kept on gathering some more resources, particularly I needed more mushrooms and mushroom chunks. And we went and finally placed a sap collector so that I could get sap a lot quicker and easier in the future. By now I was picking up a bunch of resources, weapons and tools. I'd already crafted myself the mosquito needle, which replenishes your health every time you stab at an enemy with it. And we had a nice big collection of bug parts coming along as well. Next day I spent pretty much inventory sorting and just doing a little bit more gathering before heading quite late over to the picnic table once more. It's a perilous climb, so we definitely need to make sure we brought our dandelion fluffs. And no, the banana peel doesn't cushion your fall. So the picnic table is great for getting crow feathers, as well as maybe running into some black ants and a whole bunch more. It can get a bit dangerous as there are two bees that will always kind of guard this section, and they get aggro as soon as you go near them, which is a bit different from the rest of them, as normally you have to get really super close. You can also see the kind of splinters. We're going to be after them in part 2 to start really making some new gear and items. But for now it was time to run. We clambered up with the D&D books, knocked open the handle, and we finally got on top of the picnic table. And no one asked why I'm wearing a Christmas jumper, even though I recorded this in April. But now it was time to get my munch on, and there was no mince pies in sight. It was all about the cookie dough as we went and checked out the field station, and more importantly, the way to the sandbox eventually. I hadn't actually bought any of the silk rope, so we'd have to wait for that for another time. So we went and explored the D&D board, which got loads of dice that you can actually move around. It's definitely one of the coolest locations in the game. I just wish some of these corridors were more aligned to the building pieces, as it'd be pretty cool to really have this perfectly placed as a castle above the picnic. But I've got some more science points, and we checked out finally what we was here for. The chest with a special gold molar, another scab, and more importantly than all, the picnic table chip's going to give us access to the milk molar scanner, but I don't really need that as I know where most of them are nowadays, and also the chance to get the salt glob so we can eventually put a salt element on a lot of our weapons. And with the latest update it also unlocks the pollen turret. Whoa! Triple science. I'll take it. No Jade, that was double science, you fool. One last nab of the scab and that was it. We were done pretty much on the picnic table. And yes, this scab is absolutely horrendous. I dropped down and it's time to head home. Although we did stop off at the Frankenlion, which is a real life extra sketcher kind of thing that you can use in game, and we picked up the Frankenlion one, which meant we didn't have Doglo for too long. With all them feathers that we got, we was able to go ahead and craft the crossbow, and this is going to be OP in taking out lots of enemies. We checked on our mushroom farm once again, and we started to build up a nice good supply, but we still needed to sort out them ovens. And to make more ovens, you need bombardier beetle parts. And I'm pleased to say I didn't die this time fighting these green guys. My great combat skills didn't last long, because on day 33 I decided to go and troll a wolf spider. What a mistake. And can you imagine the devs made the wolf spider even more deadly? Now, your basic principle of a crossbow is that it's great for firing at stuff. It's maybe not so hot at actually using to defend yourself. So you think I would have switched weapons when I jumped down? Whoa. Oh no! No! Oh! He was so close to dying as well. I love that the game does eventually do that. It's like, you trying to cheese me, pal? Do you not know who I am? I'm gonna make you pay. That's what the game did to me there. Just like, what? You trying to cheese me? Nah, fam. Nah. It was at this point that I realised that the backpack challenge just wasn't working how I thought it was. I was meant to keep my armour and gear, that's what the description said, but since then the update has changed it and now you lose everything when you die. A couple of times chat had encouraged me to just spawn in the items I'd lost, but it was getting tiresome, so I simply reloaded. I'd lost so many gear sets, unfortunately. So day 35 we got a bit more sorted out at base, and then we went ahead and started to see if we could get up to the middle flower beds and the barbecue. I'm showing these spiders some climbing skills here as I went around the outside. Did you know you could actually get up here this way without actually going anywhere near the hot coals? And I thought I could cheekily see if we could grab the katana. This is an OP spicy sword, a two-handed katana, but it was simply way too hot. We definitely would need maybe some of the antlion armor set. Ooh, ooh. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yep, you're right. Yep, no, you are absolutely right. And for that armor set, we're definitely going to obviously need to go into the sandbox. But no one likes a quitter, and I tried a few times to see if I could sneak and get some of the charcoal. We also ran into one of the ladybird larvae for the first time. Even more OP versions of my most hated little creatures. I might be able to get that tooth. Yeah, that might be at least something. This bubbling puddle of water actually heals you over time, so it's a great place to come to fight enemies or get away from the sizzling effect. But there was no way around it. I simply wouldn't be able to get it. I forgot that maybe if I ate a lot of fresh mint, that would also maybe cool me down temporarily, but I didn't have any on me. I didn't want to make this trip too useless, so I went and grabbed the extra science points under the grill and got myself another gold molar, quickly and silently, before the wolf spiders came and got me. Woo! Hello, you nearly got me there. Oh, you nearly got me again. But you did not get me. You did not get me. So yes, day 36, we headed back to the picnic table. It was time to see if we could get some black ant parts, and I knew that sometimes they crawled around up here. We were kind of rushing a lot of this because I did want to get so much done in 50 days, but you guys I'm sure will be taking more of your time with it if you're fairly new to the game. Otherwise I'm sure there's some pro players out there wondering why it's taking me this long. Oh, come on. There we go. Yes. This is good as well, because man, I need bandages. I don't know what I was doing coming out without any bandages at all. What can I say? I'm a double hard nut geezer. I looked him square in the eye, and I let it go. Whoa, one shot! I'd unlocked the recipe for the termite axe, but it'd be some time before we get that. That's the ultimate tier axe tier 3. And then we finally repaired the zipline and headed over to the sandbox. I actually hadn't meant to go on a zip line, I just accidentally caught it, but what can I say? We went and explored. This the first time we were seeing properly the sand zone below us, and for once decided to get more prepared. So I just used the edges to get around to the other side, and we'll see if we can maybe check out the rubbish tips first. On this side of the yard we've got some of the roly-polies, the sickly kind again, and plenty of black ants, but otherwise it's fairly safe. I'm still wondering if we'll ever get some sort of big bug inside these water hoses, as it forms a perfect little arena circle. We wound our way to the actual tip, swam underneath the rubbish bags, picked up some more science and started exploring some of the cans where I knew there was another golden molar. You definitely want to have as much inventory space as possible, and maybe I've got some upgrades for your consumables, how much you can carry, as there's so many different types of foods here. We got probably the worst looking scab in the game, Garbo, and we nabbed another milk molar. We're extremely close to the Black Ant Hill entrance, but I knew I wasn't prepared. We'd have to go back and get some more gear first. So I made good use of my time here, killing a few more ants, including the black soldier ants, and hopefully these parts would go towards that black ant armour in the future. And then quickly into the actual tip itself, where there's even more food and even more rewards. As you can tell, you do need a gas mask over here. The rotten food pretty much will kill you instantly if you're in it for more than a few seconds. So even with the mask, you might want to make sure you've got a second one just in case it breaks. Picked up the crusty roly-poly helmet in addition to the legs that we got at the Minotaur maze, and we got another milk molar, the mega one. Now roly-poly armour is some of the best in the game, even though you can now upgrade your armour. Back then you couldn't, and so it was ultimate armour that everyone pretty much used to go for. Of course, lots of armors have their different perks, and even more so now, but there was still definitely a heavy leaning towards always trying to get the roly-poly as the best one. I finished off exploring and got a bunch more stuff, including more milk molars, science points, and we took on a fat flyer. These guys are a little bit chunkier. They can actually stink you out because they're carrying rotten food, but you normally get twice as much fly parts from them. I had so much on me, it was a real struggle getting back, but eventually we made it. And finally, because we got a black ant head, we can now craft a black ant shovel, meaning I could dig into all the bubblegum. I went and put all the upgrades to good use on day 37, and I got the rest of the resources needed to craft my black ant shield now as well. Come across a whole clutch of red ants, just trying to get something inside. I'm guessing it was a weevil, and I decided to go ham and start using my needle. But of course, every point that I think I'm okay, something bad comes along to mess up my day. Whoa! No, go away. I wasn't messing with you. Oh, I've got no arrows. Sugar. But for once, it didn't turn into an absolute crap show. I managed to get rid of it pretty quickly. That's it. I've got a completely full thing. We've got to get an oven. We've got to get the oven as ASAP. It was time. Let's head to the Black Ant Hill and see how far we could do. But we was definitely going to need some more grenades first. So I went to the Red Ant Hill and picked up the last few batch of eggs. We also spent more time getting prepared with some smoothies, and we were off back to the garbage zone. Now I hadn't bought my actual mask because it kills you, so even with a gas mask it does a ton of damage. But we just about made it through and we started our long descent. This is one of the most complicated tunnel systems in the game. It goes absolutely everywhere, so definitely go and watch some of my older guides if you're doing this for the first time. The black ants absolutely hit like a truck. The smaller ones will leave you alone, but the larger soldier ants, even if you're wearing ant armour, will still go for you. So I tried different combos. Obviously I had my black ant shield and ladybug armour with the mosquito needle. But luckily I got a few stuck as they were still doing quite a lot of damage to me. And this is what I needed a bunch of grenades for, as there's all these blocked pathways. There's plenty of tasties in here as well, so you're going to always get a bunch of science points. And we had to activate a series of switches to open up different doorways. You'll come across loads of these little chests as well, filled with all sorts of loot. And we got more science points as we drop down to the next level. Absolutely love the lighting in this game, and it's got even better recently with the last update. We found another rich resource room and some save points that you can actually sleep here, before finding even more tasties to earn sweet little science points. Where? Get out of here. It's pretty dark down here. I debated about bringing my Firefly hat, but I definitely thought I would need some of the better armour gear. Although it is heavy armour, so it is meant to give you a lot of protection. Another milk roller? Why, thank you, sir. I got a block better. Damn, that nearly done me there, just that one. And another? Why not, sir? You might not realise there's a secret little cave just as you're getting towards the final boss fight in these dungeons. It's filled with some science points and another blocked pebble, but once you blow it open you'll come across a gold molar and a really strange eerie cave filled with some pretty horrendous mushrooms. So make sure you go and get the gold molar. That was it. What is that about? Like, that is clearly like, is it going to be a nuclear mushroom that we get or whatever? Alright, calm down, Jade. It was only a furry mushroom. And then we finished off some more of the black ant soldiers as we wound our way down to the big, massive laboratory door. taking out the last few at range before finally getting our hands on the last gold molar in the laboratories. And then we're going to go up against what I think is one of the toughest little boss fights in the game, maybe even tougher than the Broodmother, maybe. One more bomb to blow open the glass and then we were in. Fire in the hill! A tap on the button on the keyboard and trouble was brewing. We had the Haze T's to worry about, ARC-R, and this guy, the assistant manager, or Arseman apparently, as most of the Twitch streamers I follow call him.
Okay, that flipped the script. That was so painful.
This is a super tough boss fight. Now with the latest update you can actually peep all the creatures and you can see their weaknesses, their strengths and much more. But make sure when you're facing him, you do peep him. Especially these robots as well. They've changed from Haze T's to Ruz T's. They're pretty much the same, but they've just got different names. So if you want the gold version of these, and this will all make sense if you're a pro-grounded player, then yeah, keep reloading your game until you get a gold version. Just a top little tip. Now Arseman is pretty tough to beat. Obviously after the first few hits he keeps summoning ARC-Rs, and as long as you've got a shield you can block them, or with a decent weapon durability, and you should be okay. And it's fairly easy to dodge the lasers while hiding behind some of these lightning poles. But as soon as he starts making charge come from them, that's when things get a little bit more difficult, and it took me a couple attempts to really get to grips with this.
Yes! We did it!
You can see I've damaged nearly every piece of my armour, completely ruined with the durability. But we had done it, and now it was time to get our rewards. The black anthill chip, and this was going to lead us to the sandbox and unlock everything else we needed. We'd spent a whole day in here, so it was already now day 40, and I rushed back to Burgle to see what we could buy. Pretty much extra quartzite smithing to increase our durability and damage of our weapons even more. I didn't really have a lot of resources to repair the armour that got damaged, so I was wearing my stinky crusty roly-poly set and some just normal bottoms before we then went ahead and started looking at getting more of the resources that we couldn't before, using our brand new shovel as well as obviously the hammer. Things were starting to come together, but there was still something I had to do. We had to go and get coal, and I couldn't do that until we got some decent antlion armour. Day 41 we sorted through what exact armour I did have, and I managed to go ahead and switch back over to some of the ladybug stuff once we got enough resources. We also went and checked out the coup de grace. This gives you extra kind of critical hit damage. You just got to go and touch the 4-leaf clover.
It's the look of the Irish, so it is. I can say that because I'm quarter Irish, okay?
Picked up yet another scab, the Chub series, and finished the day off all getting fresh defense mutation while eating a bunch of mints. This will give us even more protection against acid damage, I do believe, as well as cooling us down when we do make it to the sandbox. I crafted the archer's hat, which was going to give us extra bow damage, and we went to town on all the bees so we could craft even more armour. I remembered to bring my special ant club this time, and we got the second part of the coup de grace, giving us even more critical hit damage. You need to roll a 20. We had a bunch of mutations, but there was still plenty to go, and that was it. It was time to get back on the zip line. I was basically doing this on a bit of a cheese. We was coming here at night time to hopefully avoid some of the heat, but I saw an opportunity too good to turn down, a sickly roly-poly, and we absolutely cheesed him.
New cheese?
Oh yeah, I love a bit of new cheese.
I'm hoping if I run past them enough, they'll simply go away. They won't follow me. Yeah. Go on, get out of here.
And with that lucky escape, we got another milk molar, and we got the pieces from the roly-poly. Scanning it gave us the recipe for the actual chest piece and more, and we were pretty much on our way to getting more upgrades for some of our weapons soon as well. And that's what we started day 42 doing, upgrading some of our stuff before heading back to the anthill and making our way through to the sandbox. That's right, there's another entrance way that can split and takes you straight through to the sandbox. Although it wasn't that easy, some of the black ants had respawned and they were definitely giving me some trouble as I was wearing black ant armour this time. I'd also crafted myself a black ant sword as well, and just wasn't really killing the ants in the best way possible, but it was definitely going to be good for facing off against the ant lions. Quick loot and some more science points before tackling the darkest tunnels ever.
Oh my god! What the hell? What the actual frick?
I do not do horror movies for this precise reason.
Oh my god.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, we're going the right way, people. We're going the right way. I just was not expecting that at all. Oh, it's daytime now as well. Sugar.
Sugar indeed. This meant the sandbox was going to heat up, so I had to be really careful, making sure I was standing in the water or in the shade, while also avoiding some of these bad boys.
Spider.
So he was basically going to try and cheese and get to the laboratory, which I had a key for, which you get given by killing the assistant manager. But first I did the sensible thing, made a little outpost, and we put some storage for some items just in case I did die. I swear there used to be some sort of milk molar underneath the blue casing here, but no, nothing there this time.
No, 10, 14, 14, 3. I've got an antlion piece at home, so don't need to worry about pincers anymore. Oh no, wrong one. Where's the thing? Oh no. No. Yeah, go on. I'm in here, please. Oh.
So after my quick maths, we just about made it, and we picked up the vital sandbox burgle chip. This would give us access to the salty smithing crafting. I'd killed quite a few antlions at this point as well, so we had nearly enough to go ahead and craft a full set once we got back to base. Chatter told me I could get some shade while fighting one of these. Apparently you guys are laying, because there was no shade here and I couldn't really even take him down. I was just still a little bit too weak, definitely needed more stamina and some more maybe boosts. Instead I went around looking for some more secret loot again, which you can only dig up with a tier 3 shovel. And we just kept running back and forth to somewhere where there was a little bit of shade, just to get out of the hot sun. We stuck around to pretty much close to the time that you're meant to get this key. There's a little riddle inside the laboratory that tells you when, but if you're quick enough and you know the exact location, you should be able to dig it out. This opened up the chest in the moat, and this gives us one of the better weapons in the game, the salt mace. That's what antlions are pretty much weak against. It is salty weapons, and specifically the mace. So I was glad to hopefully be getting that in the future. Nighttime had descended, so I could now go out into the sandbox without as much worry about getting roasted, and we made our escape out.
There we go. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm gone.
Back at base, we made all of the antlion gear we would need, and it was finally time to go and get some charcoal. And that's what we did on day 44. There's still danger from the sizzling. It doesn't actually negate all of it, but it certainly helps. Keeping in the shade and doing it at night time is also an important factor if you don't have all the pieces, and making sure you've eaten some fresh defense mint or have got the mutation active. We ran into some more ladybug larvae, but they were pretty much at a cinch, especially inside the healing pool. And we gathered up all of the rest of the charcoal to make as many ovens as possible, as well as another mega milk. I even had time to revisit the Coltana, and we managed to pick this up, as well as another milk molar. I absolutely love this weapon, it's one of the coolest, and I can't wait to get it upgraded.
Oh my god, you still burn quite a lot in here from that. I was not expecting that.
Last milk molar in hand, it was time to pretty much head home, as long as we got the last bit of science points on top of this lantern on top of the bag.
Hells yeah.
So you need 4 boiling glands, 4 charcoal, and a whole ton of clay. So we actually still only had 1 oven. I would need to go and kill a whole bunch more of the bombardier beetles. This kind of sucked big time. As you can see, we're going to be able to make over 1,200 mushroom bricks. That's going to take a long time unless we really get some more ovens up and running. Most of day 45 was spent running around the yard trying to find as many bombardier beetles to kill as possible. Again, making good use out of my firefly helmet. But I just wasn't getting enough drops. Some of them weren't even dropping them. So I decided I'd have to maybe go back to the hedge eventually and see if we could get some from some of the sacks there.
Well, nearly there. We're at the last one now. Desperately got to get... Oh, we didn't get one there. Oh, come on, man. This is going to suck. I'll be lucky if we get 2 ovens running at this rate.
So that's what we did on day 46. Ran around the whole of the hedge trying to find more egg sacs to hopefully get enough bombardier parts. We also went and cleared out one of the laboratories that I'd accidentally forgotten, as there was some decent tasties to take care of and some more lore to do the story. This is where the resource scanner originates from, and that's what you turn on. It took a while, in fact it probably took too long, but eventually after going back and forth all through the night as well, we managed to get enough for at least one more oven. So I spent the whole of day 47 just crafting up as many bricks as possible. And we also went and cleared out again a few more of the bombardier beetles that were starting to respawn back on the map. We were getting so close now, and I just wanted to make sure I had enough mushroom pieces to build the castle that I really wanted. And this was still before we knew the Bug Strike Back update was a real thing. So just for the rest of the evening I went and prepped more stuff, like getting more silk rope and just sorting out more of my weapons and armours. But then at the corner of my eye I noticed there was another bombardier beetle in the distance, so let's go and see if I can take it out. Will this give me enough materials to go ahead and craft my third oven? These guys had given me some of the biggest trouble going in the early stages, but now I was getting maybe a little bit better as long as I could carry on avoiding that acid shot. This armour's decent, but I would prefer others. This one's really more about going just explicitly into the sandbox.
I don't want any trouble in.
Oh, good shot, sir. Good shot. I take my hat off to you. That was a good shot. It finally died, and it was just one more piece, hopefully solving our oven problem. Yay, we did it! We got our third oven up and running, and now it's time to get our proper cook on. I decided not to skip night anymore to give myself more time to cook, and we went and spoke to Burgle and got some more upgrades. Handing over all the chips that we required, like the picnic chip, as well as all the rest. Also boosted the rest of my stats. We now had 3 active mutations or space for them, increased max stamina and max health. And I was actually doing pretty good in the gold milk or mega milk molars, as I'd managed to increase a whole bunch of them as well. I built up quite a bit of science points, so we went and spent it on the advanced smithing for the mint and spicy globs. And I'd managed to gather quite a few feathers along the way, so I went and got the feather roofs, hopefully to put on top of our mushroom castle. I literally did not sleep and spent the next 2 days gathering as many resources as possible, getting ready for the final day where I'd be building hopefully our mushroom castle. It did take a huge amount of time though to get all of my crafting benches up to my location where I was going to build, and to get some more resources so I wouldn't have to do too many runs while building. I even went and took down all my walls from my last base as I desperately needed the stems. But eventually we got there, and by day 50 I was pretty much ready to build. So I'd actually designed this in creative mode on a previous live stream, and I did do a pretty decent job. I felt like my castle was good, but I'd come to realise I didn't have enough mushroom bricks. So I kept it as simple as I could, and it meant that I didn't have to go and get as many stones and clay as well. Effectively, I built more of a fort than a castle, but we can upgrade it and we can modify it and maybe expand it a lot more, hopefully from days 50 to 100. Absolutely loved every minute of this challenge. I did want to do 100 days before I put the video out, but with the Bug Strike Back, it kind of felt perfect to get this castle up and running by then. Of course, we have to play the game now. They've basically made it, you've got to redo the missions, so we're going to have to do that before we do anything else once we resume. But with all the brand new gear I've got, and making sure that I get rid of the backpack challenge altogether, it just hasn't been fun, and it's definitely been changed, the description now. As I promise you, it used to say you'd keep your items and your armour. Never mind, it's been a great experience. It's been hard, it's been challenging, it's been really great getting back into Grounded. Absolutely phenomenal game, and it's only going to get better. I've still got to explore the koi ponds. We've still got to go over to the sandbox properly and explore everywhere, as well as the upper decks and the shed, and of course the termite woodpile. And obviously 50 to 100, we're going to be facing off against the broodmother. I thought it was quite funny though, the spooky goings on with the grass falling in the corner here. And I didn't get to put as many of my decorations and stuff from my old base here. I did bring up as much as I could, but I knew that time was against me. To stop it looking completely like a square, I did put some curved pieces on the second layer. And again, I wanted something a bit more complicated on the outsides, so having balconies all round, but maybe with individual towers in each corner. That's what I did with my test build. But that's definitely something we can add in future. For now, I just kept it nice and simple with loads of weed stems. I had a bit of difficulty trying to get a complicated door in, so in the end I gave up and settled for just a regular oak one door. Spent the evening of day 50 finishing off the top layer, getting some more doorways in and then building up the second. Hopefully I might be able to put some sort of mezzanine floors in here as well so we get some more storage space. And yep, I did have to change my plans from STEM inside as it just simply was going to take way too long to go and get the stuff I needed. It didn't help either that I didn't have my tier 2 axe on me. I don't know where I'd left it, but it disappeared and I couldn't be bothered trying to craft a new one. So we settled for clover. Not the best, but I did have an absolute bucket loads of it. I carried on finishing off the roof for now, but like I said, I'm going to upgrade it in the future. So it may even go 1 story higher, and I definitely feel like building a big extension towards the back. I chose this location because it's protected on one side by the big drop, obviously into close to the pond. Then you've got one side of it that's protected by the wall, and so then it's also on a raised stone. So that should give me a lot more protection against any of the land raids that we might get. I did go and build a whole bunch of palisades around, but again, I had to mooch around, change them about, and that was pretty much where a lot of my weed stems went. And sad to say, I didn't get it done in time. I had to start the next day 51 finishing off the last pieces. It was just simply too ambitious to get it all done in one day. I put up some basic fencing just to stop me falling off, changed a few things around, and here you go. Here is the finished mushroom castle for now. I could keep playing this over and over again with so many new features like the base defense, the mixers and much more. I don't even know if we'll get to complete the whole game by day 100, but I kind of hope we do. If not, I will carry on. We'll do 150 and 200 days, and I'm sure that by that point the game might actually be out of early access and complete, and then we'll have to start all over again. Let me know what kind of challenges you've done, what kind of bases you've got. Come and join my Discord, give me a follow on Twitter, and say hello by making sure you're subscribed. And if you want to really support the channel, maybe become a member. I hope you enjoyed the build. Like I said, simple enough for now, but hopefully we're going to jazz it up and make it a bit bulkier and a bit chunkier once I cook some more mushrooms. So there we go, that's the full highlights. You go and check out the full playlist as well of all the live streams and the first 10 episodes that were actually videos. It's all in one separate playlist, and look out for me starting very soon. I'm going to be streaming exactly a few days after this goes out, probably on Monday in the evening time. So come join me as we journey further on in Grounded. Laters, rat bags.